This week on Cars and Things Restos, we got to get that Holden out of there and that LS in there.
Welcome to Summer X 35. Welcome to Summer X 36.
Travelling Restos. Righto. There's the LS. I've still got to get that out, which I'll probably do this weekend. Mick will be coming out. Mick's having 3 weeks off. He's going on holidays, the lucky bugger. So he's going to Perth. Probably catch up with me mate Gav. But anyway, on the weekend, last weekend Mick's here. So we'll get that motor out of that. And we might stick this girl in. So I've just bought this back from the panel shop because I needed the engine crane because we're putting the VT engine in there, which you've probably already seen. But anyway, it happens around here in all different shapes and sizes and time frames. As I said, we've got Mako sitting there, which you've probably already seen running, and maybe or even on the dyno, I don't know. Don't know when this is going to air. But anyway, this is where we're at today. Engine's back. I've just put the intake and everything on it, put the water pump on it, put the flash bloody head, what do you call it? The flash bleed steam port system on it. That's what I've done. Yeah, that's what you call it. So there we go. That's ready to go in. I've just got to put a flex plate on it. I think they're flex plate bolts, or are they flywheel? They might be. I'll have to check. I think they're flex plate bolts. So that's there. I've got to pull the transmission out from over here. It's sitting over here. It probably needs a pressure wash. So we'll get that out. That's a AC Duke. I think it's a Rico box. I've got a 3.5 stall to go in that. So that's got to get pulled out. I've got to put some fittings in here for our AN lines and a bit more work. Then we'll get her up there and see what we can do, see if we can make it happen. That's the goal. Anyway, got to get it out first. So we've got the engine in. We're just about to give it epoxy, pumps, alternator, the electric water pump. We've also got to epoxy the heater delete plate, so we'll do that as well. So I've got the epoxy mixed up now. We'll give it a coat of that, and then we'll get some black on it. Righto, there we go. I've got 2 coats of gloss black with the blue pearl in it. Not sure if it's going to show up in this light. I went 10% with the blue pearl, and you can see it, just see it in there. But I'm just about to clear them, and I've gone 15% this time in the clear. So I just wanted to stand out a little bit more. It looks okay, but so what I've done is I've mixed up some clear, and I've put the that's our clear, and I put a bit of the black blue pearl in, 15% of it in the clear, so we should get a nice glossy blue pearl coat on it. So that's the goal. It did work. It worked on Mako's engine, but when I did that, it wasn't gloss. We did it in the matte black. This one your brother wants gloss, so I don't know why, but he's got matte bumpers, or satin bumpers. But anyway, it's his engine, so we're going to try it with the gloss and see what it comes up. This is our clear coat with the 15% blue, and yes, in the light you can really see it now. That made it heaps better. It may have been because it's the clear too was really making it show up. But you can really see it. Looks really good. We're very happy with that. I've got the coil covers here that I just scuffed up, and I said to brother, we're going to paint them blue, the same colour as the car. And I said, you sure? And he said, well, let's make them look a bit different instead of the same. Have a look at that oil pump. Underneath it's black, and then you got the light on it, it's got the blue tinge in it. So what we're going to do with the coil covers, instead of painting them blue, what I have done is I've added another 10% or gone up to nearly 30% blue pearl in that. So I'm not sure what it's going to do. I'm going to do 2 more coats. I'm not going to do the engine anymore. That's enough coats on the engine. I'm going to give these 2 coats, plus I'm going to give them another 2 coats, so it'll be a lot thicker and also hopefully more pearl, and it sort of changes the colour and looks a little bit different on the engine. We'll see how we go. Alrighty. So that's the motor and whatnot, pumps. Now this was 30% pearl with I think I've got nearly 5 coats on there, so it is showing up a fair bit in that. Still looks pretty good on that, but I don't know. Won't know until we put it on, see what it comes up like, see what it looks like. Anyway, done. Engine painted. We'll let that cure tonight, and I'll probably come and get it later in the week or on Saturday. See how we go. Still a little bit tacky. I'll leave that alone. All good. Just about ready to put her in, guys. So this morning I'm sitting here. I pulled out our wiring harness we got for the HZ. It's a standalone harness I got off the internet. Wasn't expensive, just a cheap one. All the wires look good. Everything looks good. The fuse box and relays all look good. Pretty basic, simple way of hooking it up. I need to find the instructions, what I've done with that. The only thing that I have noticed, I put it on the engine and I plugged everything in and started naming it down. I could not find an oil sensor. It does not have an oil sensor wiring in it. Hang on. Right, now, where was I before I was rudely interrupted? I think I was saying it doesn't have an oil pressure switch in it. So that's the only thing I can find. It's got everything else, but they don't run an oil pressure switch. Maybe they turn it off. I want an oil pressure switch in it, so I'm going to, because I'm going to take all this crappy conduit off it and put some good stuff on it. But I'm going to run some wires for the oil switch, and we're going to have, ours is going to have an oil switch, because if you lose oil pressure, it turns the engine off. And that's what we want. We don't want it fucking shitting itself. The only other thing was that I found was there was a 5-wire harness on it that I couldn't work out where that went. So I'm not sure. So what I'll do is I'll trace the wires back. I've got a pin out here. I'll trace the wires back to there and work out what that's all about. And then I'm going to rip all this conduit off it, and I'll fit it all back up to the engine, and we'll make it suit. Beautiful. Rightio. It is back to work on the HZ. Look at the dust on it. It's been sitting up in the air for a few months now. Oh, and we've had the window open. Oh well. I bought one of these little jiggers. Not too bad to do a bit of de-dusting. It's nothing special, but yeah, so look, we've got to get stuck back into this. It's time. We've got Mako, and that just ran out of power, no? Make it work. Got Mako and the clubby done. We just got to get the bonnet done on Mako. So time to get the motor in this, and get this motor out, I should say, and get the new one in. Yep, so it's time to get the motor out of this, get the new one in. So we're going to get stuck into that. It's time to get it onto this hoist over here. There's the motor sitting there. Got some coils for it. So what I want to do is move it out of this bay, Mako out, put it on that hoist, and get stuck into it. Alrighty. Oh, also, yesterday I had a visit from Russell and his old man from Piranha Motorsport. And it was really nice for them to catch up. They've been up the east coast. They're from WA. They've been up the east coast doing a few of the burnout events. They went to Rocky Nats, and they gave me a call and said, "Oh, can we pop in on the way through?" They're off back to Adelaide at the moment. I said, "Yeah, drop in and see." So it was really nice catching up with those guys. They've got their own YouTube channel too. They're just starting out. Piranha Motorsport, it's called. I'll check a little graph up here of this of their YouTube channel and go and check it out. They're having a bit of fun. Good on you, Dad and his son, getting a burnout car, travelling around, ripping it up. Good on you, boys, and great for you to drop in and see me. Rightio, 383 is out on the engine stand. It can stay there now, Mick, until we get the HX ready, eh? I don't know if I've told people that. Yeah, the reason we've taken this out is because brother wants it for the HX Monaro. So, and he always wanted to run an LS, so that's why we pulled it out. So now what we're doing, we're going to do a heater delete. I've got a plate from Scotty Ferg. To put on there, so I'm going to pull the heater box and everything out. We might give this a bit of a clean up. Even though cleaning's not my thing, it's brother's and he's not even here again. Pretty standard.
He's allergic to it.
Pretty standard. Alright, we'll get stuck into that. Righty. So, as you just saw, slipped the gearbox up in there, and Henry's been telling me off, haven't you been, Henry?
Yes.
And I keep telling him, this is not my car. So why would I care if it's got a dirty gearbox in it?
Brother will be
If
pissed
the
as
bloke
dirty.
who owned it cared, wouldn't he be here, Mick?
One would think.
Hey?
Fuck you,
One would
brother.
think we're used to that though.
Yeah, so, you know what? He gets a dirty gearbox because he's not here to clean it.
Henry, thanks mate.
So,
The
gearbox
use of
is
it-
in.
They haven't used it, so we're not using the very back one.
Well, I'm assuming I've used the
Very
front.
one, right.
Yeah.
I'll
Now,
put
just
that
have a
back
look where
one.
your engine mount's going to go, though, boys.
Yeah, well, it looks like
All
it's
right,
going to be right there.
so we got the
Where's the
3.5
engine
inch stall converter is
Henry?
in it. We've still
Where's
got
that
to try and get a
engine
starter motor. I think I can get starter motor from the top,
Where's that going to
but
go?
I've got
It's
to
gonna
do the
slide
converter
back.
bolts up. So it is all happening, and it's coming along. We're pretty happy. We'll keep smacking her out because what time is it? Because we've got to go. It's 2:20. Bathurst is on. I think top 10's at
Yeah, you've gone to
5 o'clock, so we've got plenty of time. Alrighty, there we go. Torque converter is in, done up, tight. The gearbox mount, which I'm not 100% sure on, and I don't reckon brother will be either. We'll drive it first, but I reckon it's going to vibrate like a motherfucker, because they all do. Probably change that out we'll probably change that out to a Turbo 400 rubber one. That's on, I'm just going to put that on. I might go and get a can trans kit from Repco on Monday and put a new filter and service the transmission before we get too far into it. I've got some cats on their way. They'll be here next week, so I can make the exhaust. I can let it down, I suppose, and get the top done. I've got to make up some brackets for the oil cooler to mount the oil cooler, because I don't want to do it through the radiator like it was. But it is getting there. Absolutely wrapped with the amount of work we've done there. So thanks, boys. Alrighty, guys. Got to give a big shout out to TAF Industries for coming on board, giving us a helping hand, throwing us some clapper discs and some cutting wheels. This is the first supply he got. He's just starting up getting these, and he said, here, have these and see how they go, and we'll throw them at you when you need them. So pretty happy with that. So thank you for TAF Industries for getting into us. If you want these, jump online. I'm pretty sure he's got a site out there. You can get them through Leader Ag. So if you need them, get on board and grab them, guys. Thank you, TAF Industries. Righty. Just smashed our pump in. Got our pump up there all wired up. I just got to hook up the in hose. Yeah, just got to hook up the in hose. So I'll route that. I've routed it all down through the, I think that's 100 micron fuel filter. It's from LS Racing, I think it's called. So we're running the Teflon braided hose. That's going up the top to the intake, and I've had to drop this extractor because I've got to get the starter in it, but I've got to get a starter for it. So there, I've measured up for the tail shaft. We've dropped that into, measured up the tail shaft, dropped that into Grant and Camo. They're getting a 1350 4L60 yoke for me, and then they'll shorten the tail shaft by about 2 inches, so about 50 mil. It's got to be shortened. So that's probably going to do it for this episode. So the engine's in, well, the engine's out of that. The LS is in it. The box is in it. It's all bolted up. I just got to get a new starter for it. I'm going to put a brand new one in it. Why not? And fuel's hooked up. I've got to get it down from the top. I've still got to sort out the cooling system. I've got to hook in the pressure regulator and stuff like that. But that'll be in the next episode. Alrighty. Well, thank you for coming along watching. If you haven't subscribed, just jump on and subscribe. Hit the bell, share with your friends, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.